Well, are we all happy this morning?
Yes.
I know some children who are very happy this morning. No school for 2 weeks.
Yay!
I didn't hear too many of the mums and dads cheering, only the ones that are teachers. But you know, you're off school now for Easter. And if I asked in here, what is Easter? You would probably know the right answer. But you know, some people think that Easter is just a great excuse to eat lots and lots of chocolate. Chocolate Easter eggs, and the more the better. And some people might think that Easter is just a time to celebrate spring, when all the beautiful spring flowers appear, and it gives us a hope that summer's on the way. Or maybe they see all the little lambs and bunny rabbits in the field, and it's just a chance to celebrate that. That's what some people might think. And other people think, well, it's the best excuse ever not to have to go to work and no more school. Hooray! But we know that that is not what Easter is all about. We know the real reason for Easter. And for the next few weeks, we're going to watch some videos that just explains what help us to remember and concentrate what Easter is all about. And of course, Easter, the best part, the biggest part of Easter, I think, for me, is the fact that because of Easter, we are forgiven. And that is something worth celebrating, right? Yeah. So later on, we're going to start with the first one of our videos. But before we do that, tell me something. Do you think I'm a good person? Now, we all know that nobody's perfect. The only perfect person was Jesus. But be careful how you answer this. Remember, I'm standing here in front of you. I've got my church t-shirt on. Do you think that I'm a good person? Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to know an Easter egg next week. So, I look good. I've got my church t-shirt on. I'm a good person, I think. Really see what's underneath. Excuse me. Now, what do you think? Can't read it? I read it. Disobey, cheating, greed, anger, hate, lying, bullying, stealing, nasty, unkind, sin. That's what's underneath. If I'm honest, that's what's underneath. If you're honest, I'd say most of you have done most of these at some point in your life. Because underneath, we're not good. Underneath, we're full of sin. You see this word here, sin? I tried to wash it off. You can see it just smudged, didn't disappear, it's still there. So underneath, I'm not a good person. And there's only one way that I can get rid of this sin. I can do everything, I can try and scrub it out, but I can't get rid of it. I can try and cover it up. I can even put this on. I can put my church t-shirt on. I can cover it up, but it's still there. I can't get rid of it by myself. The only way that I can get rid of my sin is to come before God and ask Him to forgive me. He will remove my sin, and He will throw it so far away, further than that, because I can still see it. And now, that's the only way that I can be clean on the inside. I can ask God to forgive me, and He will, but only because Jesus died at Easter. He took the punishment for my sin, and now God will forgive me if I ask Him. God will forgive you, because I know that you all are good people too. But I know, and you know, that underneath, we've all got sin, and God sees that sin, no matter how much we try ourselves to cover it up. And I think that's the best part of Easter, that we can come to God and ask Him to forgive us because of what Jesus did. So today is called Palm Sunday, and this is the start of the story of Easter. And instead of listening to me for a change, we've got a video so I can sit down and enjoy it too.
God's story, Palm Sunday. So part of God's story happened on a day we call Palm Sunday, and it begins like this. Remember how God sent His Son Jesus to rescue us? Well, not everybody believed that Jesus was really God's Son and the rescuer, but the ones who did believe in Him did did something pretty cool on Palm Sunday. It started just like any other day for Jesus. He was heading into Jerusalem with his disciples. But before they got there, Jesus did something surprising. He stopped and sent 2 of his disciples to go get a young donkey from a nearby village. He even told them exactly where the owner had last tied it up. They weren't sure why he needed the donkey, but they obeyed him. Kids, would you be willing to obey Jesus even if he asked you to do something you didn't understand? Anyway, when the disciples got back with the donkey, they threw their coats on its back like a saddle, and Jesus climbed up. Pretty soon, the disciples saw why Jesus needed it. See, crowds of people came to the road and started laying coats and tree branches to make a path for Jesus. When this happened, many people recognized that Jesus was a king. Only kings came into a city like this. So Jesus rode the donkey, like he was a one-man parade. And the crowds praised Jesus by yelling things like, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord," and "Peace in heaven and glory in the highest," because they believed Jesus was the rescuer. But remember how some people didn't believe Jesus was God's son? Well, they told Jesus to make everybody stop yelling. They didn't think Jesus deserved to be treated like a king. You know what Jesus said? He told them, if they keep quiet, the rocks will cry out. Well, the people who didn't believe in Jesus didn't like thinking about people or rocks praising him. And that made Jesus sad. He actually started crying. And not just crying, weeping. Here, the people were standing next to the rescuer they'd been wanting and waiting for their whole lives. And they were missing it. But even though Jesus cried, Palm Sunday isn't a sad story. Easter is all about Jesus' amazing rescue, and Palm Sunday is a reminder of just how special that rescue is, and how much Jesus loves everyone. And that's the story of Palm Sunday. So in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Jesus was traveling. He sent his disciples to get a donkey. People spread coats and branches on the road. They praised Jesus. Some people didn't recognize that he was the king. That made Jesus sad. He had come to rescue them. A few days later, he would show just how much he loves us. And that's a part of God's story.
So, we're going to finish kids' church by singing "He Made the Stars to Shine." That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll just grab my t-shirt. Right, so there's lots of actions here. I know I can depend on you to do the actions, yeah? I'll be copying you in case I forget them. Well practiced.
Get the balls right.
You're all going to come up the front and let everybody else, you do the actions.